A brother told me that the brothers.
Can you read from here? I just rewrote it.
A brother I know told me that the brothers at Troy make taqleed of Sheikh Rabia. He also says that QSS makes taqleed of the Jordanians. But he says he follows Ibn Baz, Uthaymeen, Al-Albani. What do you say? Listen to this statement. And I was present when this statement was made. I was sitting in the masjid when this statement was made. Sheikh Rabia, in our view, is a minha. He's a trial. He's a test in this time of ours. Sheikh Rabia is a minha, just like Imam Ahmed. And naturally, Imam Ahmed is greater than Sheikh Rabia. But this is because one era, ERA, one time period, differs from another time period. So Imam Ahmed during his time, then his example, then his example, meaning Imam Ahmed's example in our time is Sheikh Rabia. So we say Sheikh Rabia is not just an individual. Sheikh Rabia, in our view, is a complete minhaj. Sheikh Rabia is the carrier of the flag of Jarh wa Ta'dil in these times, as has been said by Sheikh al-Albani. So the one who speaks about Sheikh Rabia in our view, then he's not a Salafi. He is not, he repeats, he is not a Salafi. Even if he claims that, he is not a Salafi. We do not declare him a disbeliever, but he is not a Salafi, because if he was a Salafi, then he would have, and then the words were unclear from the recording, that he would have that Sheikh Rabia, meaning he would know, because I was there, because I know it was clipped out, they couldn't understand it, but I was there. He would know for surety that Sheikh Rabia's manhaj is Salafi, pure and clear, with no impurities. The problem, the person says, is that Sheikh Rabia is truthful. He does not lie, nor does he fabricate, or nor does he compromise or flatter. I was there when he said this. You know who said this? Anybody know? Usama al-Koosi. Usama al-Koosi said this. I was sitting in Ain Shams in the masjid when he said this. Do we make taqleed of Sheikh Rabia? I just said in these talks, right here, even if Sheikh Rabia, even if Abu Bakr says something without dalil, then we're not going to say that. Didn't I just say that? I just said that, right? When was it? Yesterday? Or today? Today I said that. So how can we be blind followers of Sheikh Rabia? But pertaining to this statement that Osama al-Koosi said, this is a deep statement, because now he says the opposite. So is he Salafi? It's like, please forgive me, it's for those who are Christians and used to be into the Bible like me, there's something in the Bible called Epidemenes paradox. It says all Cretans are liars. And the person who said it was a Cretan. All Cretans are liars. But the person who said it was a Cretan. So is he a liar? Huh? So he said, whoever says Sheikh Rabia is such and such, then he's not a Salafi. And now he's saying such and such. Is he Salafi? According to his own words. No. Yesterday you mentioned that participating in interfaith dialogues may lead to apostasy. I have relatives and friends who are currently engaged in these types of dialogues. Can you direct me to where I may find the proofs for this? Or can you briefly list some? I can give you two sources, inshallah, one in Arabic and one in English. One in Arabic is a treatise that was written by Sheikh Muhammad al-Imam in Yemen. It's very nice. And one in English that you can find online is from Salih as-Salih, rahimahullah, on interfaith dialogues. Sheikh Abdul Aziz al-Rajihi, HafidhaHullah, he says that these things pertaining to interfaith dialogues is a call to riddah. It is a call to apostasy. I don't know of any of the scholars of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah who say other than that. By the way, Ali al-Halabi says something else today about this. He has a different view. He has a different opinion these days. I was shocked when I read what Ali al-Halabi said about interfaith dialogues. I was shocked. And we heard the recording with our own ears. But somebody, of course, like the Yusuf al-Qaradawi thing, you're going to say, but what context did he say it in? And what did he really mean? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. What is your advice concerning what is your advice to the sisters concerning Shadid Muhammad, Yasir Qadhi, and others who focus on women's topics and sisterhood, so they fall in love with these speakers and follow their aqidah? Kumail ibn Ziyad, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that one day Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, took him by the hand and he took him off into the desert. He said when they reached into the desert, he sat down and he took a deep breath and then he said, O Kumail ibn Ziyad, he said, the hearts are receptacles. So the best of them is the one which preserves the best. And then he said, an-nas thalatha. People are of three types. Fa'alimun rabbani. That's the first type. Wa muta'allimun ala sabil al-najat. That's the second type. Wa hamajun rawa'a ittiba'a kull na'iqin yamiluna ma'a kulli rih lam yastadi'u bi nur al-ilm wa lam yalja'u ruknin wathiq ila ruknin wathiq. He said the people are of three types. The scholar who acts in accordance to his knowledge and he teaches the people what they need to learn at the proper time that they need to learn it, not giving them the major things first, but giving them the minor things until they graduate. And the seeker, the student of knowledge, who is upon the path of salvation. And the third type of person is the hamaj, rawa'a, the person who's rabble, the person who listens to every single ignorant caller when they call, and he flows with the wind. If the wind goes this way, he goes that way. If the wind goes that way, he goes that way. And he has no light of knowledge that he used to illuminate his way, nor is he leaning upon a firm handhold or pillar. It's crystal clear with regards to Yasir Qadhi, because Shaykh Muhammad ibn Hadi, in front of more than 50 students at Medina University in the masjid of the College of Hadith, he said, listen to me clearly. He said, Yasir Qadhi is a hizbee. He said, do you understand what I'm saying, students? Yasir Qadhi is a hizbee. So that's clear. And it was clear to me because I know him. As for Shadid Muhammad, Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabiri, HafidhaHullah, he said he's dal mudil. He's dal mudil. He's astray and he's leading others astray. When Sheikh Rabee read the points that Shadid Muhammad had mentioned, and there were many, and he only read 5 out of 40 points, he said, "Ma hada illa manhaj Abil Hasan al-Wasi'." He said, this right here is nothing but the wide, expansive methodology of Abu Hasan al-Ma'rabi. Just 5 points from 40, he said that. Now, I know Shadeed Muhammad is young. You know, he's pumped up, strapped, you know. I know that he's handsome. He has charisma. He speaks about the women's, you know, rights and this and that. What can I say? What do you want me to say? Huh? What do you want me to say? What can I say? Those ulama have already spoken. So what am I supposed to say? All we can say is, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Now, maybe you brothers and sisters may not understand what I'm talking about. What am I talking about when I say don't drink the Kool-Aid? Huh? Do you understand what I'm saying? You're too young to remember. What do I mean by don't drink the Kool-Aid? Jim Jones of Guyana. Go back, do some research on it. Jim Jones of Guyana.
They got it online, all the Americans do.
All the Americans got it, right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid. You remember the history of Jim Jones? Am I saying that Shadeed and Yasir Qadhi are the leaders of a cult? No, you understand what I'm saying. So now it's going to go on ahya.org and you're going to put on there, Dawood Adeeb said that Shadeed Muhammad is a leader of a cult and Yasir Qadhi is the leader of a cult and he's saying that they're this and they're that, or they're kafirs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm using it as a principle. In other words, don't fall into the trap and drink what they're presenting so that you'll be poisoned. That's what I'm saying. So it's clear, Insha'Allah. What is the stance of the ulama on QSS and Halabi currently? Some say the Jordanians are the inheritors of al-Albani, the imam of his time, so to abandon them is to abandon al-Albani's minhaj and legacy. Whoever's saying that, it's clear that they don't understand. Just because somebody came after somebody and you say they inherited whatever they left, that means you have to follow them just because of that? Is that the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Is that the minhaj of the Salaf? Listen, before Shaykh Rabia said what he said about Ali Hassan al-Halabi, before he made tabdir, and just like or very similar to Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi, he was very, very patient. Very patient, like he is with all of those people. I myself was with Mustafa al-Adawi from Egypt, one of the students of Sheikh Muqbil. I myself was on the second floor one year, right behind the mizab, the drain that comes, that gold drain that comes out of the Kaaba, from the roof of the Kaaba. Because that's where Mustafa al-Adawi has been going for at least the past 20, maybe 30 years, 20, 22 years, 25 years. That's where he meets every Ramadan with the people who are with him. And I used to sit with him. He was one of my teachers. And he said to me around 12 o'clock in the morning after Taraweeh, he said, Dawood, you want to go to Sheikh Rabia's house? I said, Sheikh, come on, let's go. So we got in the cab and went to Sheikh Rabia's house. We sat at the door where the people come in, and the Sheikh is sitting. Who's ever been to his house, they know what I'm talking about. And the couch is like this in his library. And the Sheikh didn't see because that part of the house, that part of the room is dim. It's very dark. Not very dark, but it's dim. The lighting is not good here. The lighting is where the Sheikh sits. HafidhaHullah. So somebody leaned over, because I was sitting right here, and to my left was Mustafa al-Adawi. Somebody leaned over and said, Sheikh Mustafa al-Adawi is here. He said, where? Just like that. And we know what Mustafa al-Adawi is upon right now, and I didn't know what he was upon then, when I was with him. He said, where? He says, tell him to come. And he told the person to move over, and the Sheikh Rabia took his hand like this. I'll never forget his right hand. He took his hand like that, and he wiped the couch and said, let him sit down. And then Mustafa al-Adawi said, no, like this, no. And so they kept talking, and then the person said again, Sheikh Mustafa is here. So he told him to come up. And the person moved over, and Sheikh Rabia, HafidhaHullah, with his patience and his kindness, knowing what Mustafa al-Adawi is upon, he sat him right to his right shoulder. Right to his right shoulder. When people began to disperse, I started talking to some brothers. And I think Musa Richardson was there. I don't remember. I think he was there. I started talking to some brothers on the side, and then Mustafa al-Adi, when he finished talking to the Shaykh by himself in private, he said, Abu Tasneem, this is what he was calling me, Abu Tasneem, let's go. And I wasn't ready to go. He left, he got in the cab, he went back to the Haram. The point is that the Shaykh was patient with Mustafa al-Adawi. And for years, just like Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi and Ali Hassan al-Halabi, he was patient with them. SubhanAllah, brothers, Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi, and we're getting al-Halabi. We're getting to the Jordanians. Just be patient. Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi, the Shaykh was advising him for at least a decade, close to a decade. Do you know, and for any of you who have ever seen Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi, I'm 6'1", brothers, and so I'm kind of big. I weigh close to 250. Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi is taller than myself and bigger. He's big. Ma'rabi's big. He was in the Sheikh's house, and the Sheikh was sitting down. He stood up belligerently, and the Sheikh was advising him, and the Sheikh just tugged on his scalp just a little bit. Sit down. The Sheikh is 80-something years old. At this time, he was 70-something years old. He's 80-something years old. Abu Hassan al-Ma'rabi snatched his scalp out of the hand of the Sheikh and started screaming and walked out. Don't talk about Sheikh Rabia not being patient. Don't tell me that. I know him. Don't tell me that Sheikh Rabia is not patient with people. He was patient with Ali Hassan al-Halabi when he started seeing things, just like I myself and Abu Uwais used to see things, but we always had sukut because we were in some of those private meetings at QSS, because I was with QSS since 1982. Since 1982. There wasn't even a QSS in Canada. I was there from the beginning with Mahmoud Murad, the first president, Muhammad al-Jibali, the second president, and Abdul Mun'im. You can't tell me about QSS. I was there behind closed doors with Salim al-Hilali and Hisham Arif and Adnan Ar-Or and Muhammad Safwat Nuruddin and Ali Hassan al-Halabi and Muhammad Hassan. I was there. You weren't there. I heard things with my own ears, and so did Abu Uwais, rahimahullah. I was behind those doors in those hotel rooms, and we used to hear things, and we just was silent. You can't tell me about Ali Hassan al-Halabi. You don't know him. You can't tell me about Osama al-Koosi because you don't know him. Before you knew about him, we were the ones that brought him to America. You can't tell us about him. You need to keep your mouth shut. That's what you need to do. You need to keep your mouth shut. So before Sheikh Rabia made tabdi' on Ali Hassan al-Halabi, before he said he was an innovator, Sheikh Abdullah Ghudayan, 4.5, 5 years before Sheikh Rabia said he was an innovator, when the brothers from Algeria, and we have the recording, Sheikh Abdullah Ghudayan was asked by the brothers from Algeria, and this is where we're going to end it, Insha'Allah. Can we take from Ali Hassan al-Halabi? He said, no, because he's the one that brought irja' to the kingdom. The beliefs, the madhabs of the Murji'ah. The madhab of the Murji'ah. That was Abdullah Ghudayan 5 years before Sheikh Rabia said he was an innovator. Sheikh Rabia was patient. And the Lajnatul Da'imah, the permanent committee, with Sheikh Saleh Fawzan himself. They made the fatwa on those 2 books that Ali al-Halabi wrote and the book Khalid al-Ambari wrote on takfir. But now people are going to come behind and say, yeah, Sheikh Saleh Fawzan was sick when they brought the book to him. He really wasn't well, so he didn't really read it. Do you really think that Sheikh Saleh Fawzan, sick or not, is going to make a verdict on something that he didn't fully read? Sheikh Rabia was patient with Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq. The first Salafi conference in the United States history of Salafiyah, I was there. Ali Tamimi was there. Idris Palmer was there. Jamal Zorbozo, to the best of my memory, was there. Abu Uwais, rahimahullah, was there. It was in 1982. That was the first Salafi conference, And Abdul Rahman Abdul Khaliq was there with us in the state of Maryland. So when you start yapping at your mouths and saying, this person, the Jordanians and the legacy and all that, you don't know what you're talking about. You weren't even around. Some of you weren't even born. Some of you weren't even born. How are you going to talk? من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خير أو ليسكت. وفي رواية أو ليصمت. Whoever believes in Allah on the last day, let him speak good or shut up. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.